Hello. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I am Chrissy. This is Kick It with Chrissy, and I am so excited to kick it with you. Today, we are going to be diving in to one of the biggest lies that is told in the fitness community. And I'm sure a lot of my generation and younger do not believe this, but for some reason, my my parents' generation and older generations than that seem to still believe that more sweat equals more fat loss. Lie, lie, lie. This idea came to me actually today when I was texting with my mother-in-law and I was sharing her my progress so far on my weight loss journey. Since September, I have lost 67 pounds. No, pop it right here. And I was showing my excitement with her, and she said she kind of asked like what my goals were and how far I like wanted to take it, I guess, with my health goals. And so I told her, and she said something along the lines of, and I'll pop the exact text up here, but she said something about how it may be easier to lose weight because it's summertime and I'll be sweating more. And I sent her back a text that said, uh, sweat doesn't equal weight loss, lol. It's just water. Or sweat doesn't take away fat or something like that. Oh, you see it. And so that just brought on this idea for me that I cannot believe that some people are still believing this. It is a total lie, total myth, and totally dangerous. And I will show you why it's dangerous later on in the episode. But first, if you wouldn't mind coming along with me on this little journey of where did this start and why is it so harmful? Okay, so buckle in with me. Get your water. You know you're not drinking enough water. Get your water in. And let's go down the rabbit hole of one of fitness's biggest myths. Does sweat equal fat loss? Spoiler alert, it doesn't. This is from the Wellness Corner. They did a piece about this, and I'm just going to read a little bit to you and we're going to chat about it, about this little graphic here. And it says sweating more equals losing more fat. Truth. Sweat cools your body, not burns fat. What does sweat mean exactly? The body temperature is regulating, and water loss is just temporarily a weight drop. You're losing water weight, you're not losing fat. And what burns fat? Moving consistently, getting your steps in, strength training, because the more muscle that you have, the more calories you'll burn just throughout the day. Balancing your nutrition, so eating at a lower CAL rate slightly. And I know a lot of people probably struggle with this because I find myself feeling guilty too sometimes, but rest and recovery. You got to rest. You got to put in the hard work, but you got to rest hard too. Smart training beats sweaty training. Big sweat does not equal big results. And let's scroll through and see what we're talking about here. Where did the sweat equals fat loss myth come from? The idea feels logical at first glance. When you sweat, you lose water weight. The scale may drop temporarily, your clothes may feel looser, and your body may feel lighter. This creates a psychological association between sweat and success. Fitness marketing also plays a role. Images of dripping athletes imply intensity, transformation, and achievement. The problem is that sweat temporarily reflects temperature regulation, not fat metabolism. Water loss through sweat is quickly replaced once you hydrate, and fat loss, on the other hand, requires consistent energy balance over time. Consistency, consistency, consistency. What sweat actually does in your body? Sweating is your body's natural cooling system. When your internal temperature rises during exercise or hot weather, sweat evaporates from your skin and removes heat. This protects your organs and maintains internal balance. You can sweat heavily in hot weather without moving at all. You can also perform intense strength training in a cool room and barely sweat while still burning significant calories. Now we're going to scroll down a little bit. And this is from, I'm not even going to be disrespectful and try to read the name. Let's just call them Shuv. Shuv says sweating does not indicate burning fat. It is more of a cooling mechanism. Our body regulates the temperature by sweating. There's a typo there. It is not a sign of burning fat. You can sweat heavily in a hot room without burning much fat, and you can burn significant fat with minimal sweat. Sweat depends on temperature, humidity, genetics, and hydration, not CAL or fat loss. This perspective changes how we evaluate workouts. Instead of chasing sweat, the focus should be on effort quality, consistency, progressive overload, recovery, and nutrition. So that is just a little bit there that we are going to go over. Now, let me shift to something else here. And as we can see there, it absolutely does not equal losing more weight. I mean, it may sound logical at first, like they said, but when you think about it a little bit more, like, yeah, when I'm just sitting in a hot car driving, my AC's broken, I do sweat a lot and I'm not doing anything. So, of course, sweat is not going to equal fat loss. It may reflect temporarily, but it's not going to produce like long lasting results. Now, more on the origins of where this came from is really just from visualization. So you can see here on just the AI overview, which you really don't want to trust all the time, but in this instance, you can trust at least bits and pieces of what they're saying. But the idea of sweating equals weight loss stems from a long-standing fitness myth based on just simple observation. We're observant creatures, humans in general are, and when we see people producing a lot of sweat when they're exerting themselves at high intensities, we tend to equate that with working harder. So the harder you're sweating, the more you're working. But that doesn't factor in the genetics of people who may sweat more, or climates, or hydration levels. We don't know any of that when we're just seeing an ad from people just sweating it out in the gym. So we really need to focus on the basics of fat loss, which is consistency, strength training, nutrition, and resting and recovery. Now, this is such a dangerous myth, and you guys don't want to see all the boring stuff, but this is such a dangerous myth because I remember growing up, myself included as a kid, but not only me, my mother, and I remember seeing my biological father coming home from work after a long day and coming home from work after a long day and putting on this thing that looks like a trash bag and going running. And people are still doing this today. I cannot believe it, but there are people all over TikTok trying to sell people these sauna suits or sweatsuits and telling people that you're getting such a better workout when all you're getting is dehydrated and depleting your electrolytes. So don't send hate to any of these people, but I'm going to show you a few TikToks of people trying to sell these sauna suits. And here's one here. And as you can see, she's putting on the suit. This one's a bit more stylish than just the trash bag looking one. But as you can see, she's like dripping sweat out of it. Oh, like, oh my goodness. People are drenching themselves in sweat. And for what? It does nothing. It literally does nothing. It does nothing. That looks like a child. This is one that I saw on Google, and I believe they're selling these on Amazon. This is the ones that I remember. This like, can you even see that? Yeah, it's like the traditional like trash bag style looking ones. I remember my parents wearing these and running outside in the Alabama heat wearing these things. And people are falling for it. They honestly think that they will be losing so much more weight wearing this stuff, and it can be so dangerous. And I listened to this woman's TikTok before, and she was saying that she is actively trying to lose weight, and she was trying this one on. There was another one. Let me see if I can find her. As you can see, there are just so many trying to sell these sauna suits. If I can find the one that I'm thinking of, then I will post that right here.
After an hour of working out, I didn't use the pants just because I'm trying to work out my core and my arms. And we can't lose the booty, but you guys can see my face was super flushed. And I have watched so many videos of people basically opening this thing and then sweat pours out like water. That didn't happen to me, but in my sleeves, guys, they were pouring out of sweat, hence me stopping to work out mid because I was like, yeah, this is about to be so embarrassing, especially with being on the machines. But my shirt was extremely soaked. So these are the sleeves of the sauna suit and they were pretty wet on both ends. So this is the other side. It was pretty soaked, like sweat was pouring down. And here's just a close up of my t-shirt. You can
But in the video, she was talking about, she was only wearing like the top part of like the trash bag. And she was like, I don't want to lose my booty, but I need to lose some weight on my stomach. And she was at like a Planet Fitness or something wearing this suit. And she goes into the bathroom and she goes to take it off and she flips it inside out. And you can see all the sweat in there. And she's like, it was starting to get really embarrassing because like sweat was dripping all over the equipment. Gross. Like, I'm sure this woman is, perfectly sanitary and she cleaned off her equipment before she came to the bathroom to show us her sweating levels. But, like, sweating does not equal being, like, productive in the gym at all. And you're really playing with fire if you're not properly hydrating, if you're not properly fueling. Say you're not properly fueling at all and your CALs are like at already a tempting level, like, and you're wearing this suit that's causing you to sweat so much more. I'm like seriously concerned. Like, it could be a serious health hazard trying to wear this suit and trying to get your, summer bod with it. It's not going to do anything. Yeah, you might look a little more snatched temporarily because of a loss of water weight, but you could do that by just focusing on your fitness, focusing on your health, focusing on how your body responds to certain foods, if certain foods make you bloat or retain water, focusing on your sodium intake, things like that. Like, it's the diet. It's always the diet. Always the diet. So please, please, please do not fall for these myths. Do not fall for these crazy things. If it sounds crazy, it probably is crazy because weight loss is simple. It's not easy, but it is simple. You stay consistent. You strength train. You focus on nutrition and you rest. It is simple. And anyone can do it. Yes, it is harder for some than others, but you can do it. I did it. I'm still doing it, but I did it. I did it. And I'm so excited to tell my story with you guys and kind of share my opinions on things. This is only my third video, so my first video was talking about a specific fat activist. My second video was reacting to what I eat in a days, and now I'm cracking down on fit myths and shining light on like myths that are in the fitness community that can actually bring harm to people. Just like my intention with calling out like the fat activists or like the health at every size creators, that is my intention to call out harmful behavior. No one is perfect. No end of the scale, no end of like the spectrum is perfect, and things need to be called out on both sides. So, in honor of being fair, that's why I'm making this video today. If you enjoyed it, please leave a comment below. Just say hey, or tell me some more fit myths that you've heard of that you think is absolutely bonkers. This is probably going to be a series that I do because there's just so many that I have heard of and I've heard growing up, and so many crazy things that I've heard people do, all in the name of health and fitness. So I am so excited to continue this with you, share this, and yeah, if you made it to the end, just let me know. I'm so grateful you're here, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Stay consistent, okay? Bye bye.